kitchen. We got our aprons on and we're ready to go, aren't we?
Yep, we're ready to make a lamb cake.
This here is our pan. Let's just show everybody, let's show the people the pans. A back and a front, okay? So,
what if you don't have a pan?
What if you don't have a pan? Good question. Well, look on Facebook Marketplace. That's a great place. Or I believe Amazon sells them. Why do we do a lamb cake at Easter?
Because Jesus is the lamb.
The Lamb of God. He's the sacrificial lamb. He's the victim. And we want to teach the kids that. So we've always had a lamb cake. I've always done a lamb cake at some particular time, you know, for Easter. Sometimes I do it on Holy Thursday, right? Yes, I have. Well, probably you were not born, so you wouldn't know. But we used to, if we didn't have, now we, a lot of times over the previous 30 years, we didn't always have all of Holy Week services. So we were left to our own means for things like Good Friday and Holy Thursday. So one thing I used to do is I used to make a Holy Thursday supper, right? Because Holy Thursday is basically the Last Supper. And we used to have the lamb because this is, I put a lamb cake out on Thursday to represent, you know, that Jesus was about to be sacrificed. The Lamb of God is going to be sacrificed. I mean, you can do two kinds of different cakes. One like that, and then on the Easter, you can have a joyful lamb, right?
Right.
You know, with the Easter eggs and the you know, and all that kind of stuff. But I would just say, pick one and have one lamb cake, you know. But anyway, because people will be sick of a lamb cake. But anyway, there's lots to teach the kids about that. And we're going to go. So do you want to start with the ingredients? What are the ingredients? Our lamb cake was going to be a pound cake. So we're making a very dense, heavy cake with a lot of butter. And it's a pound cake. So for those ingredients, what we need here. Okay, so what we have here, what are our ingredients? First of all, we have 6 eggs. Now I've already I've got this ready so this doesn't take forever for us to do it. We have 6 eggs. We have 1.5 cups of sugar. We have 1/4 teaspoon of salt. We have a teaspoon of baking powder. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. 6 teaspoons of milk. 2 3/4 cup of flour. And 1.5 cups of butter. Right, so this is what's going to make our cake. We're going to take these wet ingredients. We're going to take the egg, get rid of that, the egg, the milk, and the vanilla.
Vanilla?
Yeah,
Again?
put the vanilla in. You got the camera on us? Yeah,
I
that's
got
good. Okay, and then put the egg in there. Or no, the egg's already in. Put the milk in, yeah. And now you're going to whisk it together. No, you got to whisk harder than that. You got whisk on the side. This is side. Get that good and whisk. There we go. Okay, so now that that's whisked, now we're going to take the rest of the ingredients and we're going to beat them in the mixer. Put the butter in our mixer, and then we're going to beat it up there. Here we'll add the sugar. Just to give the butter something to mix to, okay? Mm-hmm. Make sure that the sugar and the butter are well incorporated before I add anything else, okay? Because I don't want to overheat the flour. Now I always sift in my baking powder. Because nobody wants a giant lump of baking powder. Can ruin for one person a whole piece of cake, right?
Yep.
So I do that, and then we'll add this flour here. I'm gonna turn this down. Sorry, so that we can get in there with the flour. And then here with the flour. There we go. And up we get. Now we're going to mix this on low to get all the dry ingredients incorporated so that there's nothing dry left. Okay, so we're just gonna speed it up just for 1 minute. We don't want to overmix this. Now we're just gonna make sure we scrape it, and then we're going to add the wet ingredients. Okay, wet ingredients. There we go, we just add all that into there. And get that.
It's supposed to be that, like, crumbly.
No, we're mixing it a little bit more. Get that good mix. That looks good. So now we're going to take it down here, and let's go back over to the table, Ava. Here we are. We're going to now fill up our pan. You'll notice, whoops, that there's two sides to this pan. One has a hole in it. You want to put it into the pan that doesn't have a hole. So, but first we're going to actually grease the pan, and I'm going to use some Pam spray. Did you want to do this?
Sure.
You go ahead and you can do that. Now you want to make sure it's really good because we don't want it to stick anywhere, right? So we want it well covered. Here, try the here. Do the next one here.
Okay.
So here we go. Do you want to put this in for Grandma? Not the side with the hole, the side without the hole. Okay, go ahead. We want to get it all in there because remember, it has to rise and it has to fill out the other half of the pan. Okay, so we're going to get this lamb cake filled right to the top. Right to the top. Get it all smoothed out. See how thick it is? That's because this is a pound cake. Okay, so we're going to put the lid on. There we are, and you see here, there's a little hole here. This will hold this cake in place so the lid, when the cake starts to rise, it doesn't pop off. Okay? And we're going to pop it into the oven. Here we are, back. Thanks to the magic of television. Of editing. We're here, and like no time has elapsed. And we have our cake. Now, we have taken our cake and we've frozen it. So when you take your cake out of the pan, here it is, here's our lamb cake. When you take your cake out of the pan, stand him up immediately so that he is, so that he stands up without tipping over. Because you'll see on the back here that this was the top of the pan. His face is the bottom. It's always a little bit wobbly. So for your own benefit, stand him up immediately and freeze him standing up, right? And then the cake will kind of settle to make him stand. I actually propped him up so that he would stand straight. And now that he's frozen, and when he's thawed, he'll just stay standing. Okay? So anyway, so here we are. So now we gotta decorate our little lamb buddy here. So we're going to do, if you've seen those videos on, you probably haven't, but little memes that go around about, okay, time to get out the lamb cake pan, and all the people trying to make their lamb cakes, and they're really quite,
Never.
I know, that's because you're not on the internet, but they're really disturbing. We're going to put a clip in of that meme so that you can see it is the lamb cake, because they're actually very difficult to decorate so that it looks pretty if you're not a professional. Because we did a pound cake, I've decided not to do an icing on this cake, just to do a glaze, right? And that way I don't have to worry about, having it decorated perfect and, not looking like a scary monster lamb. Okay, so this is what we're going to do here, okay? So we're going to just take some icing sugar. A glaze is so easy to make. We're going to put a bunch in a bowl here. Maybe, does that look like at least a cup, I guess? And now we're going to add just a little milk to it. So here we are. We have our bowl of about a cup of icing sugar. Now here, pick up that whisk, Ava, and you can just whisk this. Now be very, very careful with the milk.
Whisk it while you're pouring it.
Yeah, I'm just going to put a couple of drops in. Okay, there we go, a couple of drops. Now, you don't generally need a whole lot of liquid. You're only making a glaze. But if you put too much liquid in, it's going to be runny and not very good. Here, we need a little more. So the best to start and do little bits at a time until you get to the right. Get all that icing sugar so that it's wet. There we go. This is like a glazed donut.
Here, you want?
Yeah,
It's hard.
it's hard. But we don't want it to be too runny. So look at that. Okay, so that's probably good enough. Right. So here, get that spoon over here, and now we're just going to glaze this little lamb. Here, okay?
Scoop it and throw it on.
Yeah. Put it on there. We're going to just do this. Get them all glazed up here. We should have maybe a little spatula. Oh, here we are. We got our beautiful glazed lamb. What do you think, Ava?
It's
looking scary, like all the lamb. But you know what? This is where we come in and we put the little what do we call that? The little finishing touches. That take away the scariness, and we have to wait for this glaze will harden.
And then it won't
but
look
in the
so
meantime,
scary.
and it won't look so scary. In the meantime, let's fix him up a little bit so he doesn't look so. Okay. Yeah. So here, let's give him some eyeballs. Now I saw in that meme, and I have the little candied eyeballs, and I was like, that looks scary. I think, and I was thought maybe we'll put candy eyeballs for, and I went no. After seeing that meme, I said no. So I decided we were going to go with cloves. We're going to just put a little clove in his eye. How's that look?
Good.
Nice and delicate. Nice and delicate. How's that look? How's that look, fans? Now, we got to put a little jingle bell on him. Nice little white. I looked for red ribbon, but I didn't have any red, so I had to go with white. Right? How's that look? How's that look? Is he starting to look good yet? Is he starting to look good?
Yeah.
He's starting to look good. Now we got our cross, right? So we're gonna put him right about. Maybe I think I might just. My eye judgment is telling me that stick's gonna be too long. So, and I'm doing this backwards. So tell me, how does that look? Oops. There we go. Alrighty. So there we have him. Now, he's quite not ready for the table yet. We're going to put, now we could do a couple of things. We could take some coconut and dye it green, but I just went to the dollar store and grabbed a little bit of grass.
I wouldn't put that on there.
What do you mean you wouldn't put that on?
I mean, it'll stick, like I would, but it'll stick to the glaze.
Stick to the what?
The glaze.
Well,
right, you have it all, it's going to get all.
Here you go. Here, you help us out here, Ava. Put this in there. Just around a little bit. We don't need a lot. Coconut might have been a better choice.
Coconut.
Because this stuff seems a little cuckoo. Here we go. Let's get it down. Let's get it off our lamb.
Tree from the coconut family. Well, that was the first thing I thought of.
There we go. Okay. Alrighty. This working backwards is not my favorite thing. Okay. And again, it would be a little easier for us if we let our glaze harden. But but you know us, we like to do it the hard way. Okay. And everybody's favorite part,
The eggs.
some eggs, some little decoration of the eggs. Here you go, Ava. I'll let you put the eggs around. Ava said, can we eat the eggs? I said, is it Easter yet? There we go. There we have it. What do you think, everybody? Are you ready for the Easter lamb? Ava?
Me, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a bloody nose.
Right? And before we go, since we can't jump into this and give it a try, we have to wait for Easter. We did put up our sign a little bit early. Why don't we move it over there and show our sign? It's a little bit big. But if you have time, I mean, you're not going to have time this year, but next year, make this a project. Say I want to do something special in my house that everybody can know when the sign goes up. Here, everybody looks forward to. Where are we going to put our banner? That was the first words when their new house. Where are we going to put our banner? This is the day that the Lord hath made. Rejoice. Hope everybody is going to make this last Holy Week very as holy as possible. Get all your preparations in. Get your lamb cakes made. All right, everybody, have a happy Easter, and I hope it's as glorious as it's meant to be.
Bye.